2.
Great. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good. Great. Excellent. Good evening. Welcome to our regular scheduled meeting here. The Templeton Advisory Committee regular business meeting is being broadcast live on TCTV channel 8 and TCTV YouTube channel. Responses will be made to comments in the TCTV YouTube channel as time permits. The agenda and the meeting material for this business meeting were posted to the www.mytowngovernment.org no later than 48 hours prior to the scheduled meeting in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts open meeting laws. The chair reserves the right to add items, to remove items from or change the order of the agenda. However, the agenda is posted in advance to give committee and the public time to review the agenda items and to ensure the meeting runs within the allotted time frame. Again, thank you very much. I am John Kaplis. I'm along with Noel Francis and Cameron Foots. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Again, this meeting is called to order. What time is it? 6:30? 6:35? 6:32? Meeting minutes for June 8th, 2022.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Can I request that we review agenda items 3 and 3B together for the meeting minutes, June 8th, 2022 and July 14th, 2022?
I'm sorry, what would you like to do?
Can I just ask that we review them both together on the same motion?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to motion to approve the minutes of June 8th, 2022 as presented and the meeting minutes of July 14th, 2022 as presented.
Second. Got a motion, second discussion. I see none.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Okay, any public comments? Nothing on the YouTube? Excellent. No public comments. Going on to correspondence. Obviously the BVMs, March, April, May, June, July, and August. We've had, obviously, these were all sent to our personal email, so we all had time to review them all. If there's any questions, comments, misconceptions, please let me know with any of the months. If anybody know you have any questions or comments or.
No questions or comments.
Okay.
I mean, it's from last year. I mean, it's already over, but and then this year in July and August, and there's not really much action and review. And I don't think there's any accounts that we didn't foresee in the burn.
The only one that I had not even a concern, the only one I had a question with was the Green Communities money. Where that was, because that hasn't shown up yet. But I'll send that out to Adam.
Is that a timing issue?
No, I think it should be in, right? The Green Communities.
Yeah, I believe, I know that the treasurer had received it last that I checked. so,
Right. Okay, so that should be out hopefully pretty soon, I would assume.
Yeah,
That was my only question with that. But as far as everything else, yeah, you're right. I mean, the end of the year stuff as well as the 2 fiscal year stuff. Yep. So I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the correspondence from Kelli Pontbriand as read and reviewed by the advisory committee for March 2022, April 2022, May 2022, June 2022, July 2022, and August 2022.
Okay, a motion of a second.
Second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? See none. Cameron?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. We don't have any old business listed today. New business, we need to appoint a temporary clerk since Paul He moved to Georgia.
You moved?
Yes, he moved to Georgia to be down there with his family and his sister.
Good for him.
Which was a good move for him.
Yeah,
That was
no,
a
good
move.
for him, but I'm still upset that you guys are gonna appoint me clerk.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not. believe it or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Did you wish to defer that?
No, I like, no, I don't. I would like to appoint Mike as a temporary clerk. He's not here right now. He's actually away on business, but he is obviously a valid member of of this advisory committee.
Is he aware of this, or
He
should we
is.
defer?
No, he's aware.
Oh, okay,
He already knew this was happening. So I would like to appoint Mike Uberod as the temporary clerk, obviously until November. Can I have a second?
second,
All right, great.
Question, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Do we reorganize after the fall? Tom?
We, because of the bylaw change.
Yeah.
We have to reorganize in November.
Okay, so that's why it's a temporary. So we're appointing him as for the remainder of this, in all
October,
intents and purposes,
right,
he is our
right.
clerk. Okay.
So it's only like today, this meeting, the pre-town and one additional meeting before we have the fall town meeting.
All right, so I have no further questions.
I have a motion, a second. Anything else? Okay. So this is to temporarily appoint Mike Uberod as the temporary clerk until the next town meeting, excuse me. No,
yes,
Cameron?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Thank you. The update on the reserve fund form, did everybody got a chance to look at that?
Did, but I didn't actually get to see the printout copy.
Oh, yeah, take a peek.
Sticker.
Yeah.
What was the rationale for the change?
that's my question as well.
It's
It's because of the new bylaw change.
I think because of bylaw changes that happened, because the select board, it's no longer us. The select board has to be a joint at the end of the year movement of money. It's just not us anymore.
How is it by majority vote, or do both boards you need to approve? How does?
I think based on the bylaw change, as I read.
I must have been asleep for that meeting. Oh, no, that's right. I was doing math.
Did you?
Brain was smoked. Yeah, I remember.
The advisory committee shall meet with the select board whenever there's a request to consider adjusting spending limits or any revoking funds or end of year financial transfers of any request or transfers from the town reserve fund. So I believe it's a majority between both boards, one board in the committee. That's 9-6.
So. The way I see this approval signature, so there's requester, the accountant, and the advisory committee.
Mhm.
Individuals are okay, this delays in time, okay, so. So it looks like we can deny it.
We can.
I don't see much difference.
No.
Avoid delays, the advisory committee recommends that you or a representative be present to provide clarity, okay, bear in mind that we possess knowledge, okay, it is your responsibility. Yeah, I don't, yeah, all right, I mean, I like the form, it looks nice.
Thank you.
No, you made it?
I had some assistance too. Yes.
Yeah, who assisted you with that? Is that Justice?
So essentially, this is the same form as in effect.
It's a little,
When I looked
it's tweaked
through
a
it-
little bit, but it's
Yeah.
the same outline. And obviously the policy that's in place right now is obviously because of the bylaw change, we have to review all that stuff to push those policies back to the select board to put up in the financial management policies. Because obviously things are changing. So,
Thank you for the explanation.
sure. Absolutely.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd like to motion to approve the form as presented and for it to be posted on the town website.
Have a motion of second.
Second,
I have a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, is Justice gonna post this and you're gonna. take
Justice,
credit
can you
for it?
post that?
Yes, I will.
It's all about delegation.
Somebody's gotta supervise.
Thank you,
All
Justice.
right, excellent. Kim?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Did you get an opportunity to look at the calendar that was sent out
Yes.
that Justice and I both did together?
Okay, go ahead. No, this, and it's still on the the last Thursday of the month.
Yes, but in October, we have the pre-town meeting, which is scheduled right now for October 20th, 2022, 6:30 in this room.
And that's a joint.
No, that's our pre-town meeting.
So that would be, I don't have a
Review the
calendar in front of me.
warrants.
Yes, that's when we do the
warrants.
review and the warrants. That's
What
right.
day of the week is that? The 22nd, as long as it's not a Wednesday, Thursday. No, that's a Saturday. 22nd is a Saturday.
And it's on the 20th on
The
it.
20th, 2022,
I won't be able to attend.
October 20th.
No. Third Thursday.
You going to Boston?
Yep.
Because we have to have so many days out.
I mean, I can, if you want to slide it to the, I mean, I can do Friday, I can do Saturdays, I can do Wednesdays, Tuesdays, whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Justice, can we have them available on the 21st possibly? Is that something you can check?
I can check on that with Steve and Hannah. I'm not sure if, I mean, is TCT available for Friday?
That's-
Typically not, unfortunately.
Yeah, usually not.
What's not? I missed that.
TCTV isn't usually available on, that would be a Steve question. I don't know. I don't have the answer in front of me right now.
Okay, can you run that by Steve as a special favor? Because
Yeah, I can ask Steve.
so we're within the time frame.
I believe we are available October 19th. We don't have any meetings.
That's a Tuesday?
I believe that's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I can do that.
That works for me.
Okay. So let's look at the 19th then.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're able to get a quorum for that Thursday. So if you want to keep it there, but I just let you
No,
know
no,
that
I'm
we can't
not.
reschedule.
Pre-town, we could do on the 19th. I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
As long as TCTV is good with that. And obviously, we don't, based on the bylaw changes, we do not have to mail anything out anymore as well to notify the public. We could just tell them it'll be posted on the town website.
Okay, so,
And it was just sent to me. The advisory committee only votes on the emergency reserve, but it is a joint meeting. Does that answer your question? For the emergency reserve?
yes,
Okay. All right, so the 19th, so we can change that.
yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to set the date of the fall pre-town meeting to Wednesday, October 19th, 2022 at 6:30 PM, provided that Templeton or TCTV can provide services for that date.
Excellent.
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? Oh, you have none? Kim?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Now, as far as the other dates, the only one that's offset the last Thursday is November because that's Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So it's the Wednesday, Thursday before, which is the 17th. If, does anybody have any issues with at least these meetings right now till December? What are they doing?
I think we offset it that day, so it's actually that one I'll be able to make.
You sure? Yeah. Okay, because I don't know what day they're gonna move it to, because they're not gonna.
I don't think we have anything
In when,
on that. It's usually December. We'll roll it into December.
Okay.
We get that Thanksgiving Thursday break, so
Okay.
we'll be all set.
so we will have a meeting the following October 27th, which is our regular business meeting, November 17th and December 22nd, and then obviously new leadership will be put in place on probably November 17th will be the first order of business.
Okay.
Since new people or old people leaving, whatever.
Now, appointments for the advisory committee, are they lasting until annual town meeting?
I believe they're still, the appointments are gonna be, 3-year appointments.
You mean at the fall town meeting?
Right.
I believe that they'll go based on the wording until annual, and then it will be on a 3-year, and then it'll divide out until the 2 for 3-year, 2 for 2-year, and 1 for 1 year.
Right, okay. So yes.
Okay, so I'm stuck with you guys until then. I'm only kidding.
You're such a great guy. Yeah, you're stuck with us till then. So anyways, so yeah, so, but we'll have, hopefully some new members, come fall town meeting. All right, so, any question with those dates? Can we lock those dates in?
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's up to your, I mean, I think that fall town pre-meeting, I think is the only one that we need to make a motion. The others are up to your discretion, so.
I'm good, thanks. Okay, we had a couple bills came in. I didn't know, I had a mailbox here. So a couple bills came in this for the newspaper from the last annual town meeting for $36.82. And then the MMA bill came in for the Association of the Finance Committees at $184. That's the paper one, and this is the MMA one. They're both the same.
Why are these addressed to us?
Yep.
Yeah, but why?
Because they're our bills. When we put the thing in the newspaper, the announcement in the newspaper.
That's advisory committee?
Yes,
Part of my support.
part of our support funds, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's budgeted, but why do we announce it? Why do we post it?
Because by the old bylaw, we were
All right, that makes sense.
and now with the new bylaw in place, they took that away. It's not there anymore.
Good.
As long as we just post it on our town website. We get, and the bulletin board outside.
Who were coming in and out of the traders fund. The selectmen's.
Well, in the future, we don't post it at all. They won't post it at all.
No.
Doesn't need to be posted.
Including no fees.
None, 0 fees. Saves us $36 a year.
Yeah, I don't know why we need to sign for these or authorize these. You figure that town administrator's office would be able to handle this.
Yeah, since it's our fund, we have to approve it. It's our
But it's our
support fund.
department spend, right?
It's the advisory committee's support fund. It's not our fund. I'll have to do the warrant.
Yeah.
Then I give it to Justice.
Well, it's appropriated funds at town meeting is what you're suggesting.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So I mean, I think you should probably just roll up to the select board for MMA memberships, right? And they just pay it out from that.
They don't.
Yeah,
We
they-
all pay separate.
Yeah, that's the allocation stuff. Going back to that again, it should all just be
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Probably right.
save everybody the trouble of letting boards approve $184 bill.
Right.
Or, there's also policies, delegation of under $500, right? And the bylaws can be approved by the town administrator
So that'll be a good one.
and the select board. Yeah, there you go.
Well, until then, I do need your support to do the warrant for us.
So
do the
I
support
motioned
to.
for the chairman of the advisory committee to sign the documents.
Both.
Both bills. I don't know did you take mine? I think I might have sent it back over there. My agenda items. Was it local ID and MMA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, local IQ was the newspaper and MMA is MMA.
All right, let's just redo that one.
You got it.
Motion to pay the local IQ for the announcement in the paper for pre-town meeting in the amount of $36.82 and to pay the MMA dues for the year in the amount of $184.00.
Okay, I have a motion, second, any other discussion? I see none. Cam,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Justice, can you send me another one of those sheets?
Yeah, I can see if I
from the last time, then I'll just update it and I'll get it up to you. I'll sign and get it up to you tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday,
Monday.
Monday.
Roger, yep, Monday. Thank you. We did put on the agenda, discuss increase in food tax with recommended policies on meals tax utilization. Obviously, that's we're already at the max. I found out a couple days ago, so that's null and void at this point. But what's not is there is still no specific policy driven for where the meals tax monies go other than the general fund. I'd like to, have some more discussion on that. On designing or developing some type of recommendation to the Board of Selectmen on some type of policy that those funds should be directed to some specific thing, such as like a new police car every year, or excess fuel, or sand, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My understanding is it's the police cruiser every year.
But that's always been the verbalization of it. That was the whole design of it. Back since it came into play here with Cam and I. But and I know they're still doing it that way, but again, if you have a policy on it and it goes into the financial management policies, that's where it goes, and they're kind of like letting them know where it goes. But again, that's something that we can talk about down the road. Light and water pilots, that was also on the meeting to discuss as well. Any insight, talk about that.
Remember the Zlotnick or the.
You can do that. You could do yourself.
Yeah, I do have some things I'd like to offer about about those topics. As far as the water department payment in lieu of taxes, my understanding is that their free cash is not it swings widely, and it's not always they don't always have a great deal of free cash. The light department also swings very widely, but sometimes they have a tremendous amount of free cash. So as what I would advocate as far as the pilot is, I would hope and I would recommend that the selectmen meet with those department heads to, certainly I think that billing or items of the town is taken care of. That should come out of their pilot monies, and as far as any additional monies, I think there should be discussion on that. It strikes me, I think one of the things that strikes me, I was very surprised, is in the town report, there is there's $2.7 million of light department money that is not accounted for in the annual town report. It's accounted for on the light department website, but it really should be in the annual town report.
When you say it's not accounted for,
Well, it's accounted for, but it's not. They have what they take in for revenue, and they have what they pay out to pay for power.
Right.
And the difference is $2.7 million, and that is all the salary. Everything that's not a capital expense.
Right.
And it's just not in the annual town report. I mean, you can't find it if you go to the light department website, but I'm not insinuating that the department is not well run. I've said repeatedly, I think it's well run. I think they do a lot for the town. I think what my problem is that you have a department with a budget or expenditures as big as the whole municipal budget. It's $8 to $9 million a year. Budget is $8 to $9 million a year, so it's really an equal entity as far as overall monies. And there is, I don't know if it's due to past things that have happened in the past, but it seems to me that there should be either policies or annual discussions as to payment in lieu of taxes, for services and also monies, because obviously the town needs help. Maybe the best use of pilot, if there was a specific project, where electricity was needed, for example, if there was a industrial park developed, and money had to be spent, maybe that could be a pilot payment, but I just think it needs to be discussed. Budgets, we're in a good time now, but I can see in maybe 3 years, maybe it'll be a little bit tighter than it is tonight.
So you're suggesting instead of, just pulling a figure out, right, instead of them paying what the tax amount is, that there are certain ways and paths forward to give something payment in lieu of taxes, almost as a not codified, but a little bit more stringent on the details and outlines of what qualifies for a pilot, or are you just suggesting merely that?
I think it is the light department, they have, they might have just a few $1,000s 1 year free cash. So it's other than perhaps billing, it would not be fair to ask for a payment in lieu of taxes if they only have a few $1,000s in surplus cash. And they also don't want to interfere with their capital expenses. But other years they have generated a lot more free cash, and yet it's retained for capital expenses. And and I get the feeling is that there were no conversations with the Board of Selectmen as to
What gives you that feeling? Just go no further. Go no further.
and I think that there should, because as I said, you're looking at really two branches, as it were, of town government that are roughly equal in size financially, and they should talk to each other more and help each other out. And I get the sense that to the extent that it perhaps should be.
I know it's even with the sewer department, I know when I met with I can't even remember that. It's eluding me, but it's a entity out in Boston that works under the Massachusetts government, which is
Department of Public Utilities. Probably.
No, they're about development, right? So if say Coca-Cola wanted to open up a plant, they would go talk to this entity, and it eludes me. I don't know what the name of it is. But
Economic development.
yes, I think that's what it might be. If not, that is exactly it. But essentially they were talking about certain areas where, say Coca-Cola wanted to come in here and they wanted to open up shop, right? Working with them and submitting something is not just a selectman activity, it's a sewer activity, it's a light activity, it's a water activity. And the reason being is because when something like Coca-Cola wants to open up a plant, you can imagine there's a lot of water usage, right? But then there's also a lot of Coca-Cola that's get just poured down. It's not the right mixture. So then you also have a lot of sewage or gray waste, really. And then on top of that, you have a lot of light demand, right? Facilities like that take a lot. And the toughest part is that when you have 3-4 different entities, one being the Board of Selectmen as the top board as a representative of the entire town, but then you have these 3 utility entities. I found out, and the more you dig into it, you'll find out that there is just a total disjunction between them. But there's a willingness on all sides to work at something like that, right? There's a willingness. There's a willingness to say, well, if Coca-Cola wants to come here, right? When I talked to the sewer department, they're underutilized. I think it was like they're at 30% of what they used to be, which back then it was at 70% of what they used to be, right? And by having such a low utilization, they have their fixed costs to run that place, and they have their variable costs. The more sewer that comes in there, they obviously have to hire more people or do whatever, but they have their set fixed costs, and we need to get that utilization to an 80-90 to maximize the sewer plant, right? And it drives everybody's sewer bills down. And the same thing goes with light and water. The more electricity that they're buying, the better bulk pricing they get and a better fixed rate, and they have their fixed expenses. I will say in caution, it's a tough road. If you have the will to explore this, it opens up a lot of, and John, you can speak to it. It opens up a lot of deep wounds, deep sores.
And I'm not looking to reopen that.
It's
and
just
also these entities are also, the light department is created under a separate statute, and they operate under a separate statute, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. I think the only bad thing about it is that, because they are created under a separate statute and they do operate separately, is that by itself creates obstacles to that in of itself, the structure creates obstacles for cooperation or.
And it does at the end of the day. And I think, you know, in communities where it works well, they understand, you know, hey, the Board of Selectmen is the one that's signing for your bond. They're the ones that are operating above you in capacity for the town. In towns where it doesn't work so well, it's, hey, you don't tell us what to do. We don't really care. Sign our paperwork, get it done. And it sounds familiar, but it's a community. I mean, we're all trying to work together to achieve the same thing. And the more synergies a town can have, the better everybody does, right? And I think that's the biggest problem here with municipal utilities is for Templeton, we all want to do better. And it's tough to find that way forward, but I don't think there's any commonality at this point until we start to get industrial stuff that drives that, you know, hey, I think you said it with an industrial park that may go in, or that we, you know, say that were to happen. That's where you start to drive some of these conversations with these guys. They all look at it as ka-ching.
Right.
You know, it's a good source of revenue and taxes and all your utilities. We need a uniting factor at some point like that.
Great discussion. I will double check with the town administrator to see how that's going. As far as that, which I'm sure it's going. He's on top of that, I believe, but as
If I could just go back to the pilot one more
Sure.
time, it's, there is a great deal of land that is state land in the town of Templeton, not as great as Ashburnham. 60% owned by the state. But Templeton has a significant portion of the land of this town is state owned. And the pilot monies is in discussing this with Representative Zlotnick, it appears that it may be different because land values are different in different parts of the state. It may affect the pilot payments as well. And John was very well aware of this issue. You know, I told him that I felt that Templeton should be paid from the state more pilot monies. And, you know, he agrees. There seems to be the lack of a formula for that at the state level. And I think that one of the good things that we can do or advise the selectmen to do is you know, have the town push the state to establish a formula of some kind. And this kind of goes to the conversation that we had with John Zlotnick. You know, we met with John, what was it, a week ago? And you know, we were talking about Chapter 90, you know, money, highway money, and that, you know, how the town really needs, you know, probably $3 million a year to keep 80 miles of roads. And that money is borrowed. And one of the things that he suggested was that we push him or recommend to the selectmen, who would recommend to him that there be language in the Chapter 90 formula change to account for the affluence or lack of affluence of a community, because it's not done. So he said, and I think you'll agree, John, a town like Cambridge, you know, a city like Cambridge, which has lots of money, is relatively well off. They really basically get the same, you know, amount of money. You know, they get a lot more money than we do. Because there's no
they get more road miles.
Yeah, but it's if something could be done as far as asking the formula be changed, he felt that he could get the formula changed to account for the community's affluence or lack of affluence. And because we are not like you know, not like a Cambridge or Dover or Wellesley, you know, that maybe this would benefit us if that language could be changed. Is that your take?
It was my take, yeah.
I mean, I think I always have problems where they allocate money in Massachusetts anyways, but
I do too.
you know what, I think the most unfortunate thing about the Chapter 90 funds in the state of these roads is that it just costs so much. I mean, and it's between repaving a road, you know, scarring the road, or re-engineering the roads, it becomes a 2-year project. There's just not enough labor to do it. And then when you do have somebody, you got to pay them the union rates, and it just turns in, you know, something that you could hire a paving company to do for $500,000 quickly balloons up to $2.5 million job, you know? I think that's really what's killing a lot is the prevailing wages of a lot of these.
Well, we talked about prevailing wage as well, and it's our point, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but our point was, hey, the town should have some kind of a say or a cap that's different than the present formula because it's killing us. And his response was basically, I understand your position, but I don't see any way I can change it.
No, and I mean, ours is based off of what Worcester pays, right? So if you're living in
It's
Worcester.
fixed region, so
Yeah.
it probably is. with
Yep.
the-
Springfield, I mean, you look at somebody out, way Western Mass. They're paying Springfield wages, but yet they have a population of 1,000 people and it's mostly farmland.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then you go out to Boston or even Cape and they're paying their wages and rates, which. It's no perfect system. I don't know what the answer is to this stuff. I think it's all within our wheelhouse. I mean, I'm more than happy to. I'm in Boston often enough to go to the Gardner Auditorium and start.
Yeah, I tell you, with the lobbyists and the unions today, I mean, to get that law changed.
Yeah, he
it's-
said, he basically
Nope.
said that we wouldn't be able to do it. The only thing we can do is, maybe pass something at town meeting, a resolution that says we're unhappy with this, the way it is, please change it, which will probably go nowhere.
No, I think you get more bite with.
What happens if we just stop paying union wages? That's the real question.
That would be against the law.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
This mass state statute.
So I wasn't dumping a bunch of tea in the Boston Harbor, John.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think you get more traction with the chapter 90, like the verbiage as far as the affluence
Yes.
versus
That could really benefit the town.
yes,
Yeah.
Change.
absolutely.
And let's see. And also the final item, if you don't,
Okay.
we also talked with Representative Zlotnick about the issue of regional school transportation. Originally when the agreement was made in 1964, it was the state would pay 100% of the regional school transportation, subject to legislative approval,
Mhm.
which is an exception that you can drive a truck through. That figure is widely swung, and it's been in the 60% range, as you're well aware. What Representative Zlotnick suggested was that the town come up with a percentage less than 100%. That would be fixed year in and year out. And I think our discussion was that a figure in the 80% range.
What was his rationale for less than 100%?
There's no way.
Why not?
Not, I mean, again, when you compare it to like other cities, specifically like Boston.
Yeah.
They're gonna want theirs.
I know, I understand that, but is that what he said?
Yeah.
He said that if you fund a regional school district, Boston doesn't have a regional school.
They do
district.
not, but obviously, but funding's funding and school districts are school districts. So they'll get
Wasn't that the incentive, though? The incentive
It
in the
was.
60s was to form regional school districts?
It was.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a twofold problem, as he told us. The first part of the problem is there are districts like Boston or Gardner, they don't get reimbursed by the state.
Nope.
And, we're getting reimbursed. The other hurdle is that some of the regional school districts are wealthy districts and they just don't care.
Like
So they-
Pocket Carlisle, for
Yeah.
instance.
they just don't care whether it's reimbursed 100% or 50%.
I'm sure they do, though. At the end of the day, it's money that was promised to them, and then they regionalized with the incentives that were offered at the time, and then they made it such a nightmare to disentangle. And I mean,
You would think that would be the case, but John has said that when he's advocated for 100%, that some of the pushback comes from, communities like Gardner who don't have regional school districts and wealthy communities who, basically tell them, I'm not going to vote for it. I'm not going to join you on that. So
So I said 75, I'm like 75 to 80%, that would be, and I think the regional school district would be ecstatic with that versus the 68% we're getting now.
so it'd be 80% or 75 or
Right.
85, whatever the percentage is, it'd be the same year in and year out, and the legislature couldn't monkey around with it.
That's right.
And I think he felt he could get a range in the 80%, give or take a little bit.
I mean, I like John, but he's not gonna. He's got to get a few more years under his belt before he has any weight to throw in the budget sessions. But
Yeah.
Well, he's been there for 10 years.
he doesn't have Boston weight.
Well,
He's gonna keep going, and he's But I will say, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the biggest problem with the regional school districts itself is that they were incentivized, and then now they know they have us by incentivizing something that we can't separate from, right? And this isn't a problem, Templeton Phillips, and this isn't a separatist conversation, but I'm saying, if two communities struggle financially to pay for a regional school district, the state's not going to step in. Right, but they were incentivized to do so because of the synergies of both towns and communities doing stuff. Like you said, well, how am I supposed to bus my from my town to the next town and pay all those busing costs? And the state said, well, if you guys synergize and do this, we'll fund it. I mean, that's where the conversation comes from in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Gas prices are a lot higher than they were in the 60s, right?
People are getting paid more,
People are getting paid more in inflation, right? And
insurance.
but there was, and this is Massachusetts' favorite thing to do, is incentivize you to just get rocked 20, 30 years later. Big dig, hey, let's do it. Let's incentivize this. And you're just getting rocked with payments 30 years later, 40 years later. All the housing and development, that's Massachusetts. There, with the regional school district, I don't think it's even the funding of the buses that's going to really help us. It's the controls over what regional school districts do. The language of what a regional school district is in the Massachusetts General Ledger needs to be.
Well, we also talked with
And the amount of
John,
kids.
we also talked with John about per pupil expenditure versus, fixed cost, because the fixed costs are the same. Number of pupils goes up and down, up and down.
Yeah, but their number of pupils is still for 5 years ago. For today. So from 5 years ago to today, I'm sure the numbers have gone up a little bit, but they're still counting from 5 years ago. So that's the amount of dollars they get today from 5 years ago. So
Yeah, with that new school, I mean, they got a massive influx, I think, when
They sure did.
Cassman showed us that, Dr. Cassman.
yes. Yeah, they sure did.
It's always tough to make this stuff about money. I mean, if you listen to these guys at the State House go back and forth over this stuff, money is what doesn't solve any of the problems down there, because it's who's got the most weight, who's got the most pull, and who's going to get reelected or not. But I think if there was anything that we could really advocate for, I mean, busing is one of them. If 80% something that we want to go for, I'm
Yeah.
more than happy to get down there again. We could all go down there and
I think John felt that he could get a percentage like that, a fixed percentage, no matter what it is. And I think a fixed percentage in the long run would be better for the school district, because
it's only going to erode. It's only going to keep going down and down and down and down until it's 20%. So if you lock it in a fixed, I'm sure, but
fixed where the legislature can't change it. They have to pay that amount every single year.
if they want to change it, they will, right? If they need to, they'll rewrite it and say it was 75%.
So if question one passes, what do you think is going to happen?
That's, if you want to be here all night, I'll tell you.
No, I'm not gonna be here all night. No, I'm good. You want to, do you want to talk about the bridge and the and the special legislation?
No.
Okay, well anyways, what John did help us out, with that special legislation, hopefully go in front of the governor's desk, for 3 million for the Main Street Bridge. So
Main
hopefully,
Street's one over the railroad.
Main Street's the one over the water by the,
I'm thinking of Bridge Street. Why am I thinking of Bridge Street?
Yeah, but I see.
I see the paper.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully he signs that, the governor signs that before we. So.
Yeah, he said that's a time, he hopes it gets it fun while the governor can still on.
That's gonna be huge for us.
Is there any restrictions on that? It's just, that's not a state road. It's just a town road that just needs, or town bridge that just needs to be repaired.
I'm sure, not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure this is Massachusetts.
I mean,
I'm sure there's a left and right limit.
there might be wetlands around it, might be something.
Oh, there's definitely wetlands. It's over water.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
It's over the Otter River.
3.5 million's big. Is that,
3 million, not 3 million, 3 million.
what's the estimated cost for the bridge? Do we know?
I don't even know.
Probably over 3 million.
It's
But
definitely probably
It's needed.
close to that.
Yeah.
Cause it's over water. There's services that go there.
Yep.
Water service. So and again, the engineers are doing their piece. So hopefully that should be. hopefully
that's
signed-
still, hey, free money. Give
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm talking. Anyways, that was good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Do you have anything else from Slotnick you want to discuss?
I think I had my list, and it was basically the chapter 90 regional school transportation and prevailing wage.
Yes.
The only other item I would I would ask at your discretion is that I just would like to see proposals from the advisory committee discussed and passed or rejected as far as recommendations.
Okay. Recommendations to the, for the recommendation of the.
For
Selectmen?
the selectmen to create warrant articles for the fall town meeting.
Okay,
As in advisory committee recommendations to get them onto the fall town meeting, if we had any warrant articles we wanted to.
Just recommend that there be a warrant article for, this item.
Oh, okay, yep.
There's 3 or 4 items that are, I think that we should make recommendations on.
right.
I haven't looked at the what.
No, it should be out, first week in November, first week of October.
Yeah, the draft warrant's still in preparation. It'll be presented to the board at their meeting on October 12th.
For the first time, the draft warrant, or they've already reviewed a draft
They
warrant?
haven't seen a draft warrant yet.
Okay, so it's the 12th?
Yeah, they'll see it for the first time on the 12th and they'll vote on it on the 12th. I've seen it. There isn't. It's a little less, in my opinion, less controversial than normal.
Wait till I sneak a few specials on there.
Yeah.
Just to spice it up.
Yeah. Just
Trying
like
to
a
be
standard
careful
with
with my words there.
That's so funny.
Some illegal warrant articles in there.
So they'll get, yeah.
No white fences in town.
That's all we need. Oh, my God. But
I see nothing, I hear nothing.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's gonna be a more brief special or fall town?
It is gonna be a little bit more brief.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be about maybe 12 warrant articles, maybe.
Okay.
So
And it's we're doing it on a Saturday, or are we doing it on an evening?
Wednesday, it'll be
Wednesday.
Wednesday, November 2nd at 6 p.m.
Right.
Did anybody get a chance to look at the financials for the quarterly financial report that was sent out?
I did not. I have it in my email though.
Yeah, I just want to point out a couple great things here. I mean, obviously Kelly's doing a great job. There were no significant expenditure issues to close out the year, which was great. They carried forward $675,937.65 from in special articles. They had over $22,811.89 in incumbent bills. This is really great. General fund revenues came in at about 107% of budget. So we did a great job for FY22. I mean, obviously, they collected about $273,189 in tax titles. That's unprecedented. I'm like, holy cow, that's huge.
Who do they collect that?
People buy the tax titles. It's like they put
It's
them
a
on.
huge swing because wasn't
Yeah.
there $1 million in tax title land? And
I'm not sure what the total
Okay, it
amount
was a
was.
big number.
I'm sure, but 273,000, and that's pretty big. They did make a note on the town's investments. That they took a large hit because of the market, but obviously it's going to hopefully bounce back. See, $7,883.46 was billed out in supplemental real estate taxes. I mean, these are all great things. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job. They are currently looking for another company to start printing the bills, which I guess that's going to be a good thing. I mean, I just thought that was great. So if you get a chance to read that and to go over that, that was, that's great stuff. I mean, that's what the people of Templeton need to see. That's phenomenal. That's collaboration and working together with not just the accountant, but the treasurer, the collector, everybody working together to achieve the commonality of taking care of this community. But that's all I have. Anybody have any questions? Okay, we're going to member comments. I'll say my last no.
I'm all set.
Excellent.
I've said enough.
Kim?
Yes, public comment directed at the Board of Selectmen, the Town Administrator, and you, Justice, and it's nothing bad, I promise.
Are you, did you type this out?
No.
Okay, okay, just checking.
This
Last time we did that, you scared me.
Yeah, well, hey, you guys needed to hear it. That's a great speech. I watch it every day.
Oh, my God.
Really handsome guy made that one.
Yeah.
No, what I was gonna say, Justice, is that I know you guys were having problems with like cash forecasting and cash receipt forecasting and all that stuff. I'm on a sabbatical for a little while, so if you guys want, I can come in and I can help and assist. So run it by the town administrator. I do it for a living. More than happy to help bring up, I mean, any of this stuff. You guys got some really wacky reports going on here that I don't necessarily like the look of. But I'm more than happy to come in and give my expertise and help shape up and give a little bit better, cleaner reporting, a little bit more informed reporting. If the Board of Selectmen have something that they want to see in particular, that we can just put into a standard format. So I'm not sure how long these take to generate on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis. There might be something that we can do to speed up. I'll do it on a pilot. We can discuss the pilot payment, however, but I'm willing to just get out there and save some of the town's time on finance, reporting, forecasting. Again, I do it for a living. I got a master's degree in the stuff and I've been doing it for 10 years. So, so I want to just extend that, and I want to just throw that reminder out there because I know we talked about it.
Mhm.
They haven't gotten a call, no emails, no nothing, but hammer that point home for me if you can.
I will let the town administrator know.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure he's watching right now. I'm sure. And I think I spoke out too. Again, we have our meetings coming up. We have our pre-town meeting, which is going to be the 19th of October, which is a Wednesday, 6:30 here. We have our town meeting, which is November 2nd. We will be looking for new people to come on the advisory committee. So if people are out there that want to donate some time, and it's a great cause. It's really great. It's an awesome opportunity to do this. So please come on board. And that's all I have. And I want to wish everybody a great evening. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Absolutely not.
I see none. Kim?
Yes.
No? And I vote yes.